Have you ever bought something online, felt that rush of excitement, and then felt absolutely nothing once it arrived? That's not bad budgeting, that's brain chemistry. Because here's the truth, your brain doesn't actually care about owning things. It only cares about the anticipation of getting them. And that little spark of anticipation? That's dopamine. It's the molecule that built the entire modern economy, from Amazon's checkout button to your favorite TikTok shopping haul. Every time you add to cart, that's not just a purchase. That's a hit. Companies have turned dopamine into a trillion-dollar business, and your brain is the target market. Today, we're breaking down how your mind gets hijacked, why spending feels so good, and how to rewire the chemistry that keeps you broke without even realizing it. The dopamine blueprint. So what exactly is dopamine? It's not the pleasure chemical, like most people think, it's actually the anticipation chemical. It fires not when you get the reward, but when you expect it. Think of it like this, dopamine is the trailer, not the movie, the hype, not the payoff. That's why scrolling through Amazon can feel better than actually receiving the package. You've already gotten the hit before the box even ships. The second it's delivered, the dopamine drops, and the excitement vanishes. That's why you might toss it aside unopened for days, your brain already cashed in the reward. Companies know this. They've built entire business models around keeping your dopamine levels just high enough to crave the next hit. Flash sales, only 2 items left, deal ends in 3 hours, those aren't coincidences, they're engineered dopamine traps. Your brain interprets scarcity as opportunity, and that fear of missing out is literally your limbic system screaming, buy now or regret it forever. The spending cycle. Let's walk through the dopamine cycle step by step. You're stressed, tired, maybe bored, that's the trigger. You open your phone, dopamine trickles in just from the scrolling. You see a product that looks perfect, and your brain says, that could fix everything. That's your cue. You buy it, boom. Huge dopamine surge. For a few minutes, you feel amazing, powerful, in control, rewarded. Then comes the crash. You regret it. You feel a little stupid. And the brain, desperate to get that same high again, says, let's buy something else. This loop, trigger, cue, reward, regret, is the same neurological pattern behind gambling, overeating, and even social media addiction. Money just happens to be the fuel source. And here's the scariest part, your brain starts craving the next purchase before your first one even arrives. That's why your order confirmation feels better than the delivery. You're not addicted to buying things, you're addicted to wanting them. How brands hijack your brain. Marketers figured this out decades ago. In the 1950s, grocery stores learned that placing candy near the checkout increased sales by up to 300%. Why? Because after 30 minutes of decision-making, your brain's willpower reserves are depleted, and dopamine says, one last treat won't hurt. Fast forward to today, you've got infinite candy aisles on your phone. Instagram ads, Amazon's Buy Now, TikTok's Shop Now button, every swipe is a digital slot machine. The color of that Buy button? Optimized. The delay between tapping and confirmation? Tested. Even the sound of the order notification is fine-tuned for maximum dopamine release. Ever wonder why Apple's packaging opens slowly? That's on purpose, it extends anticipation. They've literally designed cardboard to keep your dopamine firing longer. You think you're making logical financial choices, but in those microseconds between impulse and click, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for reasoning, goes offline. And that's not a metaphor. Functional MRI scans show your brain looks eerily similar to someone in a casino. The psychology of control. We tell ourselves we're just browsing. But every scroll is a mental tug-of-war between logic and dopamine. It's like having a toddler and a lawyer living in your head. The lawyer says, we should save for retirement. The toddler says, ooh. Shiny. Guess who wins? And the frictionless design of modern apps makes the toddler stronger. Amazon's one-click checkout, stored card details, and autofill addresses, all of it removes resistance. When there's no friction, there's no pause, and when there's no pause, there's no logic. But here's what wealthy people do differently, they add friction back in. They make spending harder on purpose. They delete cards from browsers, turn off notifications, and delay gratification by design. Because friction creates time, and time brings back reason. How millionaires rewire dopamine. Here's the twist most people miss: you can't eliminate dopamine, and you shouldn't try. You have to redirect it. Wealthy people get their dopamine hits from progress, not purchases, watching investments grow, tracking savings goals, and building something over time. It's the same brain chemistry, just a different trigger. Think about it: refreshing your investment account can give the same micro-hit as refreshing your Instagram likes. But one builds wealth, the other burns it. Try this simple rewire: whenever you want to buy something, screenshot it and wait 48 hours. If you still want it, fine, but most of the time, you won't. That's called delayed dopamine, and it's one of the strongest self-control tools in behavioral science. You can even gamify saving, set up automatic transfers with visual progress bars, reward yourself when you hit milestones with small, symbolic treats like your favorite coffee or a day off. You're not removing dopamine, you're teaching it new tricks. The dopamine economy. We now live in what psychologists call the dopamine economy. Attention is currency. Anticipation is profit. And the average person opens their wallet 60 times a month chasing micro-rewards that disappear instantly. Financial freedom isn't about budgeting apps or cutting lattes, it's about reclaiming your brain's reward system from people who profit off your impulses. Because once you see the system, you can choose not to play. You stop chasing the next hit and start creating a life where every financial decision feels calm, intentional, and under your control. So the next time you feel that itch to spend, stop and ask yourself, is this something I need, or is it just dopamine looking for its next fix? Because once you learn to master that question, you're not just managing money, you're mastering your mind.